Hello. First open your texture and go to image rotation 90 degrees clockwise to rotate it. Next I'll go to window range 3 vertical, which will show my other photos. I'll drag out like this the text document. And I have my 3 photos in 3 separate documents opened in Photoshop. With the move tool, I'll just click and drag this photo, then click and drag the other photo inside the texture document. Next, I will close the other 2 documents. And now select this one, this image, using duplicated it somehow. I'll delete one of the copies. Now I'll select this one and rename it to blonde. And I'll rename the other one to black hair or something. In order to distinguish the 2 layers, I'll select the blonde and I'll go to select subject, and Photoshop will make an automatic selection of it. So just wait for the selection, and after this add a layer mask by clicking right here. Now I'll hit Ctrl+T, make this layer bigger, and I'll click here. Next I'll select the black layer, and now hit Ctrl+T, right click and choose flip horizontal. I'll click right here to commit the transformation, and I'll change the blending mode to multiply, and I'll go to image adjustments, desaturate to make this layer black and white. I'll make it larger, so Ctrl+T, and move it to the side somewhere here. I'll select the blonde and move it more towards the center like this. And I think I'll also make it bigger. So like this. I'll select the black hair layer and Ctrl+J to duplicate it. Change the blending mode to normal. Hold the Alt key while clicking here to add a black layer mask to it. Using Control-click, I'll select the 2 black hair layers, Ctrl+G to make a group, and let's rename it to left girl or whatever you like for a name. I'll expand the group of the left girl, and I'll select the layer mask, the top layer, G for the gradient tool, and I'll be using from basics white to transparent for a gradient, and it will be set to radial. So if your gradient is something else, for example black to white, then make sure to swap the foreground and background colors so that your foreground color is set to white. Go to basics, and here in the middle you should have the foreground to transparent option. Double click on it, select radial gradient, and just drag your gradient somewhere to make her face appear like this. I think I'll hold the Alt key and duplicate the layer mask to the bottom layer. Next I'll select the group, and I'll also add a layer mask to it. I'll select the top layer and drag one more gradient, this time bigger, to make some more of it appear. I'll select the group again and enlarge it until something like this, and I'll try to match the angle of where the two heads meet, so that it looks as if they merge together. And with the left layer group selected, I'll select the layer mask. I'll select my brush. I'll hit X to make sure to paint with black. I'll set the hardness to 0. And I'll just paint here in the middle to hide some of the back of the head, to create this blending effect. Next I'll select the blonde girl layer. I'll actually right click on its layer mask and choose apply layer mask. And next I'll just hold Ctrl Shift plus U to desaturate it. And I'll select the top layer, create a new layer, drag it to the top, G for the gradient tool, X, and make sure you're using white to transparent again. I'll change the blending mode to overlay, and let's rename this layer to light. So light, and I'll drag straight line from the top like this, and once more to create an extra lighting. I'll also drag one here and one more around here to create some interesting stronger lighting effect. Maybe one little here at the corner, even a second one closer to the face. Next I'll create a gradient map layer at the top, and I'm gonna go to photographic toning. Now if you can't find this one here, you can go to window gradients click here at the upper right corner, and when this pop-up menu appears, make sure you choose the legacy gradients option, and now you're gonna have them. If you now double click on your gradient map, you can go to your legacy gradients and legacy gradients folder. I have many of them, but just expand your legacy gradients folder and go to photography toning. And let's pick this one. It's called Sepia Cyan. And as you can see, it gives a really interesting effect at the top. And we can experiment with the blending mode. Overlay and multiply both look good usually. You can also try color, but I think I'll be using overlay because I'd like to make it lighter. And you can reduce either the fill or the opacity. I think it looks good in this case at 100%. And the next thing I'm gonna do is I'll select the Let's Go group and the blonde layer, and I'll hit Ctrl+J to duplicate them, and I'll hit Ctrl+G to make a group of the two duplicate layers. And you can see how the light becomes even more vivid. And I'll change the blending mode to overlay, and I'll reduce the opacity to 70%. Next I'll add, and this is gonna be the final step, I'm gonna add a photo filter at the top, and I'm gonna be using warming filter. I'll increase the opacity to around 40% and set the blending mode to multiply. And I'll reduce the fill to around 50%, so this photo filter layer gives it a little bit more color variation. So I think I'll also reduce the opacity of this layer to 40%. And this is the final effect. Thank you guys for watching. And if you like this video, make sure to hit the like button. And you can also subscribe to Daniel Photoshop channel.